Former Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta says allowing women in combat will help put an end to sexual assaults in the military. Panetta sat down with ABC 7 News political reporter Mark Matthews, and Mark joins us now with the story. Mark.
That's what he said, Alma. Could put an end to sexual assaults, or could help anyway put an end to them. But before you jump to the conclusion that he's talking about women in the military having to defend themselves with a gun, what Panetta is talking about is changing the way women in the military are perceived by their comrades. Former Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta readily admits sexual assaults on women in the military is a serious problem.
It's almost like, what you see on college campuses. They start to abuse women as part of a process of hazing, if you will.
And he says it escalates from there to an estimated 19,000 sexual assaults a year.
And then only a handful of those, probably about 5,000 to 6,000, were actually prosecuted.
Actually, the numbers are much worse. Of the 19,000, only 3,300 were reported in 2011, and fewer than 500 resulted in charges.
What my bill would do would take it out of the chain of command so that a victim reports it to a separate office.
That was Jackie Speier last February, talking about her bill that would take the investigation and prosecution of sexual assaults out of the chain of command and prevent commanding officers from being able to overturn a court-martial verdict.
I really respect her leadership. She's done an awful lot to bring pressure on the military to get serious about the whole sexual assault issue, and I appreciate that.
Panetta appears to be on board with Speier's legislation as long as the cases are handled within the military.
I'm a little concerned about pulling discipline or the legal side of it out of the military, just because I really do believe that the military has to take responsibility for dealing with this issue, and we shouldn't bail them out of it.
He says the military must continue to push commanders to make the right decisions, but he also thinks that allowing women into combat units may do more than anything else to change how they are treated.
Because when they get into combat, when they become, recognized that they can do the job as well as anybody else, that'll put a lot of pressure on the military to understand that they're there to stay.
Of course, women have been in the military to stay for generations, and Congresswoman Speier believes probably going to take more than women in combat. It'll take some real-world consequences, real punishment for sexual assault assailants and those who protect them. Carolyn?
All right, Mark Matthews for us. Thanks, Mark. Well, secret tours of